Hey, Metal Shop Steve here. I have another review for you, and this one I'm actually really excited to do because this band is headed my way here pretty soon. As of filming this video, I believe we're looking at next week, I think. Anyway, going to see them at a great venue. I've been there before. You saw my concert review not that long ago of a place, of a show I saw there with a bunch of bands. And that would be the SoapGirls, straight out of South Africa. Originally, at least, that's where they kind of got their music together. Originally from France, Millie and me are the sisters here in the band. They are, let's see, the best way to describe them, I think, and I have a lot of stuff to describe here because I find SoapGirls so interesting musically. And it kind of takes me back a little bit to some of the stuff that I listened to back in the day. So hopefully I can pick out some of those influences a little bit, at least what I hear. But more to that in a minute. First of all, they are, if you've never heard their music and you just see pictures, the first thing that comes to mind is provocative. They are fans of wearing little clothing and certainly striking ladies. However, they are strong, they are smart, they talk about a lot of social issues, emotional issues, things like that. So don't be fooled and just think that you're going to get like some, I don't know, angry punk rock here or something like that that doesn't really have a lot of substance behind it. And punk is one of the things here, and I've heard them described as a pop punk act or a punk act, but there's so much more here than just that. And that's actually the last thing I thought of when I listened to this album. Anyway, just to let you know, the album we're talking about today is their brand new album, In My Skin. They have, I think, about 3 other albums out, if I'm not mistaken, from when their musical journey started, in earnest with putting out albums. Although I believe they've been making music together for years, as the story goes. But let me try to encapsulate here, try to really describe what I hear when I listen to them, and then we'll talk about the album and my favorite songs that goes along with that. Again, Millie and me are the 2 ladies in this band. So one of the first things that really strikes me is the guitar tone. The guitar, the bass, it's very low end, very buzzy. And so one of the first things that comes to mind, and I usually don't like to say this band sounds like this band, going off on another tangent right here. I love when bands have influences that you can hear, especially different influences. But where it gets tricky is when the album sounds disjointed. Like, well, this song sounds like this band, this song sounds like this band. But for me, this is more of a really sonic melding of all of those influences and all of those sounds that I hear here in this album, and it works really well together, and it sounds like one complete album by the same band, but you can hear those influences. So anyway, back to the guitars. Buzzy. And so for me, there's a little bit of, and I'm going back here a little bit of L7 in there in terms of the guitar tone, the buzziness, the low end kind of stuff. Vocally, and this is going to throw some of you metalheads off a little bit, there's a little bit of like dream pop in there in terms of kind of the echoey, ethereal, almost monotone sometimes vocal sounds. So trying to think of something that is a really good comparison here. I'll tell you my number one comparison. And people have said different things about this band, but my number one comparison that I always think about when I hear SoapGirls is Veruca Salt. Veruca Salt may be a little bit more in your face and heavier than SoapGirls, but the elements are there. It's the 2 ladies, of course, With Veruca Salt, you had Louise and Nina. And the way that their voices kind of played off of each other, not really ever conflicting, but always just kind of there supporting each other vocally with kind of different sounds to it. The guitar tone, the structure, a lot of this is very Veruca Salt to me. And I love that because I love that band a lot. Also, a couple of other ones to throw out to you. Stretch Princess, maybe had 2 albums out back in the day, but really good stuff, especially their first one. I absolutely love that, and I hear that here too. It's that kind of under the surface aggression with these, I don't know, beautiful, echoey kind of vocals. And then the vocals come out in front here too in a lot of the songs. We'll get into that. I also, just to let you know, I hear, sometimes I hear Garbage in here, Shirley Manson a little bit, even in the musical tone, and Hole a little bit. I was never a big fan of Hole, not because they did anything wrong, just because I never really listened to them, but I hear that in here too. So a lot of really great, wide differential of influences that I can hear anyway. Maybe they didn't know that they were influenced by those people, or maybe they were, but that's just what I hear. That's the best way to compare this. So to call this punk, no, but I do hear that a little bit here and there. And as I go through some of my favorite songs, I think this will become a little bit more clear. So this one is, and I know I say this way too many times, probably not great as a reviewer, but I loved pretty much every song on this album. This is one, and again, it takes me back to the day where I would pop in a CD and just play it and just enjoy the whole thing, not really worry about which song is which song and kind of anticipating this next one coming up, but just kind of letting the whole thing flow and wash over you as an experience. So all of that theoretical stuff aside, my favorite songs: In My Skin, the title track. And I love this because there's this almost like surf guitar reverb quality to the guitar tone in this one. And then I racked my brain trying to come up with a good description of the vocals here, and it still kind of escapes me a little bit. It's low. It's a little monotone. And the best way I can describe it is agitated, annoyed, but still kind of like putting it in your face is really hard for me to describe, but I like it a lot. So that's the verse. The verses are kind of done in that style, and then it jumps into this more wide open singing for the chorus. But I love this song, and if I had to say something about my very favorite song on the album, this would be it. Next up, I put Psycho on my list. And again, kind of a common theme, but in a little bit different way. There's that retro reverb. There's a lot of retro sound to this, I think. And it takes me back almost a little bit of psychedelica in here. The reverb, the vocal effect, it's low, it's buzzy. Buzzy guitar-wise, not buzzy like, hipster or whatever, but and then the drum beat in this one is really cool. I like the drum sound. I like the drum, the cadence, what's going on here with the drums too. Really like that one. So then we come to Medicated Bubble Bath, which has this interesting little intro, kind of yelling about the state of the world and such there at the beginning, because this is a very socially flavored song. And we're really talking about struggling to kind of make ends meet, to kind of keep things going, to live your life. So I like that a lot. And the overall tone to this one, I made my notes. Sometimes I laugh when I go back and I look at my notes. So what I have for this one in the description is dreamy and fed up all at the same time. So I like that. I like that combo a lot. So there's that. But then I made 2 side notes here. So that's 3 songs already. But I wanted to note that there are a couple of songs that kind of fall into this category for me of just absolutely listenable, great songs. And they kind of have a similar flavor for me. But two of the songs that I put here in that category, Promise You and Liar. So this is, again, it's that kind of buzzy underground guitar sound. Very, the effects are, I feel like there's a lot of reverb going on here in the whole thing. A lot of echoey kind of stuff. So I like that about this. The overall tone, I think, of the whole album is just really fantastic. And it's slightly different from their previous albums. If you've heard their stuff, I feel like this is a little more atmospheric is not the right word, but introspective or mysterious even than some of the previous stuff. Wow, I really be interested to hear what the girls have to say about this review. But so that's what I get out of this album in total. Again, a lot of things that remind me of other bands that I used to love and still love. This is one, again, that I can just kind of put on and lose myself in the background. Really, really great stuff. So if you've not checked out the SoapGirls, or if all you've done is kind of taken a look at their pictures and made your judgments from there on what kind of music they're doing, absolutely go listen to this album and check it out for yourself. I promise you that if you like any of those things that I was talking about, you are going to love, love, love this album. And in fact, I would say right now, this is going to be in the running for one of my top albums of the year when I circle around and do that in December. I'm pretty sure you're going to find this one near the top of that list. I really like it a lot. Again, I'm excited to go see the SoapGirls live in person at a small venue here coming up pretty soon. With any luck, maybe an interview with the girls too. That would be awesome. So stick around. We'll let you know what's coming with that. But as always, thank you for coming by. Have a great day.